So you are a witch.
Correct.
And so you were walking down the road one day and you decided, I want to be a witch. Are you married?
I am divorced.
You were married.
I was married, yes.
And so did your husband know you were a witch before he married you?
He did. I'm very open. He was Christian.
A Christian married a witch?
That's correct.
What was he thinking? And so you dated this guy, you guys walking around with the Christian and the witch.
Correct.
And when you first met him, you say, look, I want you to know I'm a witch. Amazing. There are witches out there who are performing binding spells.
Yes.
And on President Trump.
Yes.
Did you know about that?
I do. There's a big community of them that are very active, and they do it periodically.
And so there are a community of witches who are doing this.
Yes.
And you are aware of them.
I am.
So they're like, let's bind this great white hope.
That's right.
How did you find out that they were doing it?
I was approached by several of them on Facebook and social media.
And what did they say to you?
They wanted me to join in the binding ritual, and my response was,
Boy, oh boy, a witch on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. She exposes the plans for a group of witches to bewitch or to cast a spell on Donald Trump. This one is a doozy, guys. If you just subscribe to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this. Without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Today I'm joined by a practicing witch. No, not Maxine Waters. This is a good witch. I have with me Marja Da'u. Thank you so much for coming.
my pleasure, Jesse. Thank you for having me.
So you are a witch.
Correct.
And so you were walking down the road one day and you decided, I want to be a witch.
I came out this way, actually. I've been this way a long time.
So you were born a witch?
Correct. From the time I was small, I had strange experiences, and as a teenager, I was called to nature practices. A lot of people don't really know what a witch is or have
Right.
different ideas.
Right.
And there's different people that take it different ways too. For me, it's one who studies nature and obtains wisdom through nature. So that's the word witch means wise one, or like a seeker of knowledge.
Amazing. Was your mother a witch?
She was. She studied all kinds of religions. She lived in Tibet for several years, studying Buddhism there, and just was always in natural environments. So she was very much inclined to those kinds of callings as well.
How about your father?
He got more into, crime and drugs a little. That was more his path he took. But we all have different ways that we go.
So you are known as the White Witch of Los Angeles.
I changed my name actually to Witch of the Dawn because I don't like, and had some conversations with people, I use white witch to make sure people know I'm not trying to hurt people. But the term white to use is a little, has become offensive because we shouldn't think of white as good and black as bad.
Oh,
So
Lord.
I decided to change the title to eliminate that sort of confusion.
Really?
Yes.
So because your title is the White Witch of Los Angeles, you automatically think that others going to compare.
Oh no, people were.
They were
There
saying,
were
well,
people, yes.
why do you call yourself
Correct.
white witch? That means that black witch is not good.
That's right.
That's insane.
I agree. However, in the interest of respect for all people, I'm happy to sacrifice that.
Oh.
I just want to make sure people understand I'm not about trying to go punish people or manipulate people
Right,
or
yeah.
try to, do that kind of stuff.
And do you feel like a witch?
I do 100%.
And what's the feeling of a witch? What does that feel like?
So I'm constantly trying to be aware of my surroundings, of what's happening, of who I'm talking to. So if I feel like a witch, it means I am aware. I feel the wind. I know where the sun is in the sky.
Wow.
So that sort of thing.
Right. And do you believe in God?
That word is tricky. I don't feel like I need belief because I can experience directly what I would call spirit. And when I experience spirit, it's one universal thing. So a lot of people will use the word God, and they're talking about something that I'm not talking about. So it's a tricky word, right?
Yeah.
And for different people, that word means different things because it'll be denominational once it gets into humans.
Right.
But the experience I've had, it seems silly to me that people denominate into religion.
And so you have 2 kids?
I do.
Daughters?
2 daughters. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you married?
I am divorced.
You were married.
I was married, yes.
And so did your husband know you were a witch before he married you?
He did. I'm very open. He was Christian.
A Christian married a witch?
That's correct.
What was he thinking?
Well, if you're a true Christian, you know that love is for all things.
Even for the
right?
witches.
Even for the witches. Because there is not a spot where God is not.
Amazing. And so you dated this guy, you guys walking around with the Christian and the witch.
Correct.
And when you first met him, you say, look, I want you to know I'm a witch.
I disclose. I full disclosure, right?
And then he said, no problem, I'm a Christian.
That's right.
Did he try to convert you?
No, but I've read the Bible. I read all kinds of material from all religions. I'm a scholar, so I get real into the nitty-gritties. And I love having discussions and debates. It doesn't bother me if someone has a different ideology or belief than I do.
Do you regret marrying a Christian man rather than another witch?
No, I don't.
Can a dark witch, meaning an evil witch,
Yeah.
punish a man? Like, can she go into her closet, bring out the broom, and do the witch boo, boo, boo kind of thing?
Right.
And the man is not aware of it or anything. Can she cause destruction for him?
Well, I can only speak from my own experience in that department. But what I can say is that as humans, we are all connected to each other, right?
Right.
So what one human does can have an effect on another human.
Even if you're not aware of it?
I think so.
So if there's a dirty witch sitting in a closet somewhere.
Ruminating.
Right. And she's upset at John Doe because she saw him on TV and John Doe said, I don't
Sure.
like feminist
Right.
women. And can this witch go into the closet and affect that person?
People can do whatever they want,
But is
right?
it more of a mentality thing?
The mental
A
plane
mental
is
thing?
real. I mean, people
I know,
can
but if I don't
say-
know that the dark witch is after me, how would that hurt me?
Because we're connected, right?
So would
the
they feel it?
mechanism, right? So you're thinking, how can that happen? The mechanism of how we affect each other is through our connection to all humans. If all humans, think about it like your body. So if I'm a cell on my leg and there's another cell in another part of my body, those
Right.
two can be directly affected by each other. Does
Right.
that make sense?
That makes sense.
So if you think of human beings as one organism, we can have effects on each other.
Amazing. There are witches out there who are performing binding spells,
Yes.
and on President Trump.
Yes.
Did you know about that?
I do. There's a big community of them that are very active and they do it periodically.
They are performing binding spells on the Great White Hope.
That's right, the Great White Hope. Again, I
And so,
understand their
it's-
perspective, although I do not share it.
And so there are a community of witches who are doing this,
Yes,
and you are aware of them.
I am.
How did you find out that they were doing it?
I was approached by several of them on Facebook and social media.
And what did they say to you?
They wanted me to join in the binding ritual, and my response was liberate all, bind none.
Amazing. So they're like, let's bind this Great White Hope.
That's right.
And so what does it mean to bind?
Well, a binding spell is very specific and it tries to block or prevent someone's energies from acting. Okay, so in the Bible, they talk about how Michael bound Lucifer. I don't know
Right.
if you're familiar with
I
that
am.
passage.
Yes.
So that has an idea of placing, similarly, a kind of bondage over someone to prevent their actions from being effective.
What is it that they want to bind about him, the Great White Hope?
I'm not really sure. I think that they're taking Donald Trump's personality and placing blame on him for things that are larger issues.
Yeah.
So they're taking focus on a person who maybe believe certain beliefs that they disagree with or are gross or dehumanizing or something, and then they're trying to punish or blame the individual that they feel is responsible for that.
Interesting. And so it's not working though, right?
He's still perfectly operable, so maybe they're not so good at magic,
It's not working.
right?
As a matter of fact, they might
He
be
might
helping
need
him.
a little more mojo. Maybe that's why they came to me, but I couldn't help
So
them.
are they aware that they're binding stuff? Has this been going on for about a year or so?
I think so, yeah.
And are they aware that it's not working?
I mean, it seems like all you have to do is turn on the TV to find that out. It's
yeah.
pretty accessible information.
Yeah.
Right?
And so what would they do when they realize, well, this is not working on the president? Do they gather more bad witches, or
Maybe they try to think more people will solve the problem. I'm not sure.
How do you feel about the Great White Hope?
My personal opinions are pretty irrelevant. I try to have as few of them as possible.
Do you have any?
My personal opinion about that is I feel like there's good and bad that all people can do. If someone's doing something that is dehumanizing or harming people, I feel like that needs to get addressed. I think that needs to get addressed, and I think it needs to get rectified. I think if someone's promoting policies that endanger or cause damage to people, that needs to get addressed. I think every single president of the United States has done things that harm individual people.
Would you get in trouble if you said to me, yeah, I really like this president?
I'm sure I'd get in trouble no matter. I'm probably already in trouble for things I just said.
And so do you like the president?
I like all human beings.
But how about him as president?
Him as president, I think that there's a lot of good and bad in Mr. Trump.
Really?
I do.
I have not seen a bad.
No bad at all?
No.
We all do, come on.
I mean,
you can't
since-
see your bad either, maybe.
No, I see mine, but
Then
since,
you know everyone does. It's no biggie.
but since being president and putting the country first,
For sure, with his policies.
have you seen any bad in him?
I think we all have shadows that need to get addressed. So I would never want to say that no
So
one
you
has
haven't
those.
seen anything, you just believe that something is there,
Well, I think that's inherent.
but you haven't seen anything.
I'm not, I mean, in terms of what he's done and executed as policy.
Right.
I mean, I'd have to go through the list, I guess.
Okay.
So I would be uneducated on that.
Oh, do
so
you vote?
unable to make a good opinion.
Do you vote?
I'm a dual citizen between Canada and the United States, so I'm unable to vote.
Oh, lucky you.
I know, right? I get out the back door.
I'm telling you. Have you ever heard of the Wicked Witch of the West?
Oh, like from the Oz books?
No, from
Oh,
South Central.
different.
From
No,
South
I don't.
Central
Oh,
LA.
no, who's this?
Maxine Waters. How would you like to come up to that with that dog? Come up against that dog witch.
That's fine with me.
You can handle her.
Listen, all things on planet Earth are handleable.
Wow, what a doozy of an interview. How can a witch be married to a Christian man? I mean, how does that work? How does that happen? You can't make this up. This is real, man. This is real, guys. What do you mean? I mean, this man's Christianity must be questioned. How did that happen? Anyway, that's a story for another day. Going to Trump. Look, this guy, there's something special about Trump, something unique about Trump. The way it looks seems like God seems to be on the side of Trump. You know, there's so many things they've tried. In this interview, you see a group of witches gathered together to cast spells on Trump. And still today, Trump is still winning. And they attempted assassination on his life twice. And he still came out tops. Guys, Trump, something special about this dude. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I want to see your reaction. I'd like to respond to your reaction. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.